Hey everybody, welcome to That Vinyl channel. I'm That Vinyl Guy Boz. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I'm really big on music from the 1980s. All the records you see around me are probably, most of them are from the 1980s. Not all, but most. But I figured why not go ahead and do a video where I'm showcasing debut albums from groups or artists from the 1980s. There are quite a few of them. So I pulled out 8 here from my collection to go ahead and talk about. Again, debut artists from the 1980s. Let's go ahead and get started. So the very first one here is Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. This is their 1987 debut album. This record launched them into superstardom, selling millions of copies worldwide. It features iconic anthems like Welcome to the Jungle, Paradise City, and Sweet Child of Mine. The album cover that you see here is the original that was deemed too controversial and quickly replaced with a different cover. Next, we're going to move on to the 1981 Belladonna release by Stevie Nicks. Fresh off her success with Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks was not slowing down. Belladonna soared to #1 on the charts. This album is packed with unforgettable tracks such as Edge of 17, Leather and Lace, and Stop Dragging My Heart Around. It wasn't just a successful debut album for her, it also launched her phenomenal solo career. Okay, and next, the legendary debut album by Ozzy Osbourne. This is Blizzard of Ozz. Ozzy bites back with this great album released 1980 in the UK and 1981 in the US, marked by his departure from Black Sabbath. It wasn't just any debut album. Blizzard of Ozz became a heavy metal landmark, earning a prestigious #9 on the Rolling Stones list of the 100 greatest metal albums of all time. This album unleashed iconic tracks that continue to be metal anthems to this day. Next, we're moving on to the 1985 self-titled album from the band The Firm. The group The Firm was a powerhouse collaboration featuring Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin and Paul Rodgers from Bad Company. Their self-titled 1985 debut might have been their only major chart success, peaking at #17 in the US, but it left a lasting mark. The albums got muscle, fueled by the legendary talents of Page and Rodgers. Tracks like Radioactive even topped Billboard rock charts. Though short-lived, The Firm proved that all-star pairings could create truly electrifying music. And here we have the 1980 debut release from the band Huey Lewis and the News. The group wasn't an overnight sensation. Their self-titled debut album laid the groundwork for their signature sound, even if it didn't hit the charts as hard as later albums. Recorded in a quick 3 weeks with Boz Scaggs and Pablo Cruise behind the production, this album showcased the early energy of the band. Tracks like Some of My Lives Are True Sooner or Later might not be stadium anthems, but they're full of catchy hooks and smooth vocals Huey Lewis fans would come to love. This is just the beginning. Their mega hit album Sports with I Want a New Drug and The Heart of Rock and Roll was still a few years down the road and will be released in 1983. Next up, the 1982 debut album from the rock band Night Ranger. This album launched them on their musical journey, featuring the hard-driving hit Don't Tell Me You Love Me. But Dawn Patrol wasn't just a single success, it was the stepping stone for even bigger things to come. The next year would see the release of their mega hit album Midnight Madness, featuring the highly celebrated Sister Christian. Night Ranger's career took off from there, and their musical legacy continues to this day. And here we have the 1982 debut release for the supergroup Asia. If you want the quintessential sound of the early 1980s, look no further than Asia's self-titled debut album. This was a commercial juggernaut, spending 9 weeks at #1 in the US and selling over 10 million copies worldwide. Asia captured the era's musical spirit perfectly with tracks like Heat of the Moment, Soul Survivor, and Wildest Dreams becoming enduring anthems. This wasn't just a successful album, it launched Asia into superstardom, solidifying their place in rock history. And last but not least, we have the 1983 self-titled debut from Weird Al Yankovic. This debut was a turning point, proving that music could be both funny and catchy. It paved the way for decades of side-splitting parodies such as Like a Surgeon, White and Nerdy, and Amish Paradise, cementing Weird Al's place in music history. His influence transcended generations. Through the 1980s, 1990s, and even the 2000s, Weird Al continued to find success, keeping pop culture on its toes with hilarious takes of their latest hits. Today, his music is recognized throughout the world, a testament of his comedic genius. Alright, I hope you enjoyed my video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, now is a great time to do so. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I do want to thank everybody for being here today. Don't forget to put some comments down below as well, and I'll see you all next time.